Hi folks, John with the Wingman115 channel. Thank you so much for checking in. Today I'm going to be doing a Gauntlet review, and the folks over at WorkSharp were nice enough to send everybody in the Gauntlet one of these WorkSharp sharpening systems and their upgrade kit. Now, I know what you're saying, John. I thought the premise of the Gauntlet was to send one item through, round robin, everybody gets to test that one item, and then we see how it performs. Well, yes. That is the premise of the Gauntlet. But the folks over at WorkSharp wanted us all to have the same out-of-the-box experience as the first person. Hence, they sent everybody one of these. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be objective. We're going to cut away. We're going to go over to a tabletop. I'll give you a specs rundown. I'll show you some practical application of this. And as always, I'll come back and give you some final thoughts. Stick around for a Gauntlet review. Let's go. Now let's give you a quick rundown of how this system works. When I first saw it, I thought, I don't know, it might be a little hokey, but I've sharpened about 15 or 20 knives with this system already to kind of get a better understanding of how to use it. And I must say that I'm a believer now. When I first started, you're going to notice that this system either locks or it's allowed to pivot. So when I first started it, I was thinking, I don't know how that's going to work, if that's going to mess up the profile of my blade if this rocks. And how this system is set up is you lock it for any straight edge knife, anything with a recurve or a sweep to the blade, you allow it to rock. And what that does is as the blade is going through the stone, it's going to rock and maintain the same angle. Now, what I like about this system is that it has a 17 degree and a 20 degree angle to help get you started. You're going to use the 17 degree if you're sharpening kitchen knives and such, and the 20 degree if you're sharpening the outdoor knives, pocket knives. Now, these stones are held into place by magnets, and the base unit comes with a coarse stone, comes with a fine stone, and it comes with these ceramic rods. Now, these ceramic rods are kind of ingenious, I believe, because it has three different settings on here, and I hope the camera will pick this up. It has these rough grooves here. This is for fish hooks. Has the lighter grooves, kind of a washboard look, is for rough honing of your blade to kind of bring that blade back. And then it has the fine side for that really razor's edge style. And then on the back it has mini rods for serrations. So I thought that was pretty cool. And how you can swap that out is it just drops in real easy, just like that. Then the system locks in. So it's really user friendly. The bottom of the unit has these rubber foot pads on it. I found that they don't slide around, that it works really well. Now, as an add-on, WorkSharp also has these three items as accessories. They have a coarse stone, a extra fine stone, and a leather strop with some compound and some petroleum jelly to help the compound stay to the leather strop. I found the instructions to be really valuable because it's a detailed roadmap of how to sharpen your knife. If you have a Tonto blade, a Wharncliffe, a sheep's foot, you go rigid. If you have a drop point, clip point, spear point, you let it pivot. Same thing with kitchen knives. And it also tells you how many strokes to do based on your first sharpening or your resharpening. So it's really, really user friendly. I found that as I was sharpening all the blades, it was just really easy to use. Now, how this works is that, say, let me get these knives out of the way. This straight edge right here. What you would do is your first sharpening, you would do enough strokes till you felt a burr, and then you would come back and do the same thing, and then you would switch over to the 800 and then do 15. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to illustrate a few. Now, it's really easy. part of the problem that I've always had is trying to get the right angle when I'm using stones. Well, the way that they have the guide, it's pretty easy. You just set your knife on there and then just come straight across. Now, if I was doing the first sharpening, I would just keep doing this until I felt a burr on the blade, and then I would come back and then I would do the same thing. And then once I felt a burr the other way, I swap out to the fine, and then I go 15. And one thing I recommend, a lot of folks were bringing their knives across like this. I don't recommend doing that because I believe over time that may round the tip of your blade. So what I've been finding is just come up and then just stop before the tip of your blade leaves the stone. So then you do 15 strokes each way. For the sake of time, we're not going to do that. And then when we're done with that, we would take that off. We put in the ceramic attachment, lock it in, and then I would rotate that until I saw like the little washboard one. And they also have a guide here. So I guide my blade across, back and forth. Really super simple system. That's one thing that I really like about this, because a lot of folks buy blades, but they're afraid to sharpen their blade, or when they sharpen it, they put the wrong edge profile on, and it changes the whole dynamic of the blade. So I would do the required ceramic strokes, and then I would switch over to the fine section, and then I would do the same. And you don't have to press really hard when you do this. Just nice, easy strokes. You let the tool do the work. So that's how you would do a straight edge blade. How you would do a recurve blade is that you let the unit swing back and forth. I'm going to use a recurve blade, and I would do the same, where I would just come in and see how it's pivoting right now. I'm keeping the same angle on this blade the whole time. And what's nice is that that diamond stone is touching the edge the whole way. So if folks are a little reluctant to buy maybe a recurve blade because you're worried about how to sharpen that blade, well, now you don't have to worry about it. They've taken all the work out of it, because the way this system rocks, it's touching that edge the whole way. So you would do the same. You would do a coarse stone, and then you would come back and do the fine stone, and then you would drop this in, and then we would do the same, where we would do the rough edge. And then we would do that for the required strokes. And then we would come back and then do the smooth edge. And that would work with the recurve. It also, same technique. So you have your fixed blade drop point knife. You put the coarse stone on, and then just run it across. And like I said, let me unlock it. See, I even make mistakes on my own video. But we bring it across. See how it's angling? So it's going to work if you're right or left-handed. It's going to work great for you. So, for the sake of time, we modify how many strokes that we do. And then we come back, swap that out, put the fine. I would do what was called for on the instructions, which is 15 strokes back and forth. And then when I'm hit the required number, I would put this back in and then hone the blade. Now, if I have a blade that's not far out from being sharp, hey, I'm not going to throw it on the stones. I'm just going to put it on the ceramic rod and bring it back. That's what butchers do all day when they're cutting meat. Just dress the edge of that blade, keep it sharp. And then I would rotate it. So, as you can see, you're kind of getting the feel of how this system now works. Now, you're probably wondering about serrations, and I'm glad you asked. So I brought out a Leatherman just to kind of illustrate, because this one has a honkin' big serrated blade on there. So I would match up whatever serration that I had in size, and then I would sharpen it. So they're pretty much standard size rods for all the serrations that happen to be on knives out there. So that's how that works. Now, as far as honing the blade, like I said, you have the extra coarse, the extra fine, and this leather strop. Now, the leather strop fits right on there. You put that in, and based on whatever edge profile that you have, and how this works is that this comes with a little bit of petroleum jelly, comes with some polishing compound, and it also comes with the little angle guide. So it would be a reverse angle guide, right? Because when you're stropping your knife, you're not going with the angle of the blade, you're going against the angle of the blade. So you would take off these. Now, it's preset at 22 degrees. That's if you're using kitchen knives. And then it's set at 25 degrees if you're using outdoors knives. So you would put a little bit of this petroleum jelly on here, and then you would rub in your compound until the entire strop is covered. And then you just lay your blade on there, and let me lock that in because that's a fixed blade, and then you just come across, and then you do that for the required amount of time that it says on here. And on this one, I think it's 15 each. So with the recurve, we let the system free flow, and we do the same. It's hooking up on the end. There we go. And I know it's hard to see from that camera angle, but this blade is touching as the strop is rocking back and forth. And then I would do the same if I had the drop point like on the charade. So, and I know that I'm kind of going fast, but this system is so super simple. Once you've sharpened one or two knives, you're going to be amazed at how simple this is. And once I got used to it, folks, I didn't even use the guide. I just started coming across, because the muscle memory for the angle of the blade, that's one good thing about that. So that's pretty much this system in a nutshell. It's so super simple to use that, yes, even John from the Wingman115 channel can use it. Now, let's go to some final thoughts on this unit. give you an idea how sharp you can get the blades if you practice with this system. As with any system, if you use it and you do it correctly, it's going to work for you. So, pretty good indication that this system works. It does a really good job. So, the question is this system going to be the complete system for you? I don't know. I use a lot of different systems, as you can see. Here I have the eze-laps, I have stones, I have a diamond rod, I have the Spyderco, I also have the WorkSharp Ken Onion edition. I have a lot of different systems. I test a lot of different knives. Only you can answer that question on what's going to work for you. Did this sharpening system work as advertised? Most definitely it did. I was really impressed. Now, who might find this system useful? Well, if you're an old timer and you've been around for a long time and you're hooked on stones, you're probably not going to change your system. If you're pretty loyal also to the eze-laps or the Spyderco system, I don't know. If you're new into the knife community and you're wondering how to sharpen your knives and to keep your whole kit just razor sharp, then this would work great for you. With the angled guides on there, you're really not going to mess up the profile of your blade. And I really like that strop feature. It just really got my knives just hair popping, razor sharp. So with that said, you're probably wondering, what would I rate this as a Gauntlet reviewer? Well, the WorkSharp system worked as advertised, so I have to give it a Gauntlet seal of approval on this. If I was going to rate it out of 5 stars the way I do on my channel, hey, for everything that WorkSharp says that it's going to do, it did, and it did it really well. So I would have to give it probably 4.5 stars. And the only reason that I didn't give it, any more than that is I'd like to see one more angle on there. Because like the Ken Onion, they also have 25 and 30 degree angle. I would also like to see maybe a little attachment, another one of these with either a 25 or 30 degree angle on there, just so it covers all the blades that I own. But 4.5 stars is an awesome rating. This unit worked as advertised. Folks, if you like these videos and you want to watch all the reviews on this, I invite you to go to thegauntlet.tv. That's our website where we have all our videos posted. You can track all the Gauntlet videos, especially on this WorkSharp sharpening system. As always, folks, this is John with the Wingman115 channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.